Hello friends, welcome to i-Tutor NCERT series. Today we are going to discuss Class 12 Geography NCERT India, People and Economy last chapter, that is chapter 9, Geographical Perspective on Selected Issues and Problems. So let's start. First one is environmental pollution. Environmental pollution results from the release of substance and energy from waste products of human activities. There are many types of pollution. They are classified on the basis of medium through which pollutants are transported and diffused. Pollution can be classified into air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, and noise pollution. So, first let's discuss about the water pollution. Indiscriminate use of water by increasing population and industrial expansion has led degradation of the quality of water considerably. Surface water available from rivers, canals, lakes, etc. is never pure. It contains small quantities of suspended particles, organic and inorganic substances. Okay, so the water contains suspended particles, organic and inorganic substances. When the concentration of these substances increase, the water becomes polluted. Okay, so then we can say the water is polluted and hence become unfit for use. In such a situation, the self-purifying capacity of water is unable to purify the water. Though water pollutants are also created from natural sources, erosion, landslides, decay and decomposition of plants and animals, etc. The pollutants from human activities are the real cause of concern. Okay, so there are also some natural things which pollute the water, but apart from that, the pollutants from human activities are the major problem. Human beings pollute the water through industrial, agriculture, and cultural activities. Among these activities, industry is the most significant contributor. Industries produce several undesirable products including industrial waste, polluted wastewater, poisonous gases, chemical residuals, numerous heavy metals, dust, smoke, etc. Most of the industrial wastes are disposed of in running water or lakes. Okay, so most of the industrial wastes, they are disposed of in the running water or the lakes. Consequently, poisonous elements reach the reservoirs, rivers and other water bodies which destroy the biosystem of the water. Major water polluting industries are the leather, pulp and paper, textiles and chemicals. Okay, so these are some of the important industries which polluted the water: leather, pulp and paper, textiles and chemicals. Now, various types of chemicals used in modern agriculture such as inorganic fertilizers, pesticides and herbicides are also pollution generating components. These chemicals are washed down to rivers, lakes and tanks. These chemicals also infiltrate the soil to reach the groundwater. Fertilizer induced an increase in the nitrate content of surface water. Okay, so the fertilizers induce an increase in the nitrate content of the surface water. Cultural activities such as pilgrimage, religious fairs, tourism, etc. also cause water pollution. In India, almost all surface water sources are contaminated and unfit for human consumption. Okay, so in India, all surface water sources are contaminated and it's unfit for the human consumption. Now, water pollution is a source of various waterborne diseases. The diseases commonly caused due to contaminated water are diarrhea, intestinal worms, hepatitis, etc. The World Health Organization shows that about 1/4 of the communicable diseases in India are waterborne. Though river pollution is common to all rivers, yet pollution of river Ganga flowing through one of the most populous regions of India has caused great concern among all. To improve the condition of the river, National Mission for Clean Ganga was initiated. Okay, we know Ganga was the purest river in our olden times, but today it is the most polluted river. The Namami Ganga program has been launched for the same purpose. Okay. Next one, types and sources of pollution. Look at this. First one, air pollution, then water pollution, land pollution and noise pollution. So let's discuss about the types and sources of pollution. Air pollution. Pollution involved oxides of sulfur, that is SO2 and SO3, then oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbon, ammonia, lead, aldehydes, asbestos, and beryllium. Source of pollution: combustion of coal, petroleum and diesel, industrial processes, solid waste disposal, sewage disposal, etc. So these are the sources of pollution. Next one, water pollution: odor, dissolved and suspended solids, ammonia and urea, nitrate and nitrites, chloride, fluorides, carbonates, oil and grease, insecticides and pesticide residue, tannin, coliform, MPM, that is bacterial count, then sulfate and sulfides, heavy metals, example lead, arsenic, mercury, manganese, etc., and radioactive substances. So these are the pollution involved in water. Then sources: sewage disposal, urban runoff, toxic effluents from industries, runoff over cultivated lands, and nuclear power plants. Next one is land pollution: human and animal excreta, viruses and bacteria, garbage and vector terrain, then pesticides and fertilizer residue, alkalinity, fluorides, radioactive substances. Because improper human activities, disposal of untreated industrial waste, use of pesticides and fertilizers. Next one is the noise pollution: high level of noise above tolerance level. Okay, so the high level of noise above tolerance level, that is called noise pollution. Aircraft, automobiles, trains, industrial processing, and advertising media. Now, sources of pollution in the Ganga and the Yamuna rivers. So these are sources of pollution in the Ganga and Yamuna river. Ganga, mainly in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and West Bengal. Polluted stretches downstream of Kanpur, downstream of Varanasi, in Farakka barrage. Nature of pollution: industrial pollution from towns like Kanpur, domestic waste from the urban centers, dumping of carcasses in the river. Main polluters: cities of Kanpur, Prayagraj, Varanasi, Patna, and Kolkata. They release domestic waste into river. So they are the main polluters. Second one is Yamuna, that is Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. Delhi to confluence with Chambal, then Mathura and Agra. Extraction of water by Haryana and Uttar Pradesh for irrigation, agricultural runoff resulting in high levels of micropollutants in Yamuna, then domestic and industrial waste of Delhi flowing into the river. Delhi dumping its domestic waste, that is the main polluters. Now, Namami Ganga program. Ganga as a river has national importance, but the river requires cleaning by effectively controlling the pollution for its water. The Union government has launched the Namami Ganga program with the following objectives. First one, developing sewage treatment system in towns, monitoring of industrial effluents, development of river fronts, afforestation along the bank to increase biodiversity, cleaning of the river surface, development of Ganga Gram in Uttarakhand, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal, and creating public awareness to avoid adding pollutants into the river even in the form of rituals. Okay, so most of the people are adding pollutants to the river in a form of rituals. So the government banned that process also. Okay, so government give awareness to the public, okay, to avoid adding pollutants to the river even in the form of rituals. So that's about the water pollution. Next one is air pollution. Air pollution is taken as addition of contaminants like dust, fumes, gas, fog, odor, smoke, or vapor to the air in substantial proportion and duration that may be harmful to flora and fauna and to the property. With increasing use of varieties of fuels as the source of energy, there is a marked increase in emission of toxic gases into the atmosphere, resulting in the pollution of air. Combustion of fossil fuels, mining, and industries are the main source of air pollution. So these are the main source of air pollution. Okay. These processes release oxides of sulfur and nitrogen, then hydrocarbons, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, lead, and asbestos. Air pollution causes various diseases related to respiratory, nerves, and circulatory system. Okay, so the air pollution causes various diseases related to respiratory, nerve systems, and circulatory system. Smoky fog over cities called as urban smog is caused by atmospheric pollution. it proves very harmful to human health. Air pollution can also cause acid rains. Okay, so the air pollution also causes acid rains. Rainwater analysis of urban environment has indicated that pH value of the first rain after summer is always lower than the subsequent rains. So that is the air pollution. Next one, noise pollution. Noise pollution refers to the state of unbearable and uncomfortable to human beings which is caused by noise from different sources. This matter has become a serious concern only in recent years due to a variety of technological innovation. Okay, so the noise pollution is mainly due to the innovation of technologies. The main source of noise pollution are various factories, machinized constructions and demolition works, automobiles and aircraft, etc. There may be added periodical but polluting noise from sirens, loudspeakers used in various festivals, programs associated with the community activities, etc. The level of steady noise is measured by sound level expressed in the terms of decibels, that is dB. Of all these sources, the biggest nuisance is the noise produced by traffic because its intensity and nature depends upon factors such as the type of aircraft, vehicle, train and the condition of road as well as that of the vehicle in case of automobiles. In sea traffic, the noise pollution is confined to the harbour due to the loading and unloading activities being carried. Industries cause noise pollution but with varying intensity depending upon the type of industry. Noise pollution is location specific and its intensity declines with the increase in distance from the source of pollution. Okay, so the intensity of noise pollution declines with the increase in distance from the source of pollution. That is industrial areas, arteries of transportation, airport, etc. The noise pollution is hazardous in many metropolitan and big cities in India. Now, urban waste disposal. Urban areas are generally marked by overcrowding, congestion, inadequate facilities to support the fast-growing population and consequent poor sanitary conditions and foul air. Environmental pollution by solid waste has now got significance because of enormous growth in the quantity of waste generated from various sources. Solid waste refers to a variety of old and used articles, for example, stained small pieces of metals, broken glassware, plastic containers, polythene bags, ash, floppies, CDs, etc. dumped at different places. These discarded materials are also termed as refuse, garbage and rubbish, etc. and are disposed of from two sources: household or domestic establishment and industrial or commercial establishment. The household wastes are disposed of either on public lands or in private contractor sites, whereas the solid waste of industrial units are collected and disposed of through public, that is through municipal facilities, and low-lying public grounds, that is landfill areas. The huge turnout of ashes and debris from industries, thermal powerhouses, and building constructions or demolition have posed problems of serious consequences. Solid waste cause health hazards through creation of obnoxious smell and harboring of flies and rodents which act as carriers of diseases like typhoid, diphtheria, diarrhea, malaria and cholera, etc. This waste causes frequent nuisance as and when these are carelessly handled, spread by wind and splitted through rainwater. Concentration of industrial units in and around urban centers gave rise to disposal of industrial waste. The dumping of industrial waste into rivers lead to water pollution. River pollution from city-based industries and untreated sewage leads to serious health problems downstream. Now, urban waste disposal is a serious problem in India. In metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai and Bengaluru, etc., about 90% of the solid waste is collected and disposed. But most of other cities and towns in the country, about 30 to 50% of the waste generated are left uncollected, which accumulated on the streets, in open spaces between houses and in wastelands, leading to serious health hazards. These waste should be treated as resources and utilized for generating energy and compost. Untreated waste ferment slowly and release toxic biogas to the atmosphere, including methane. Okay, so this is very bad for the human health. Now, rural urban migration. Population flow from rural to the urban areas is caused by many factors like high demand for labor in urban areas, low job opportunities in rural areas, and unbalanced pattern of development between urban and rural areas. So these are some of the reasons for the migration. In India, population in cities is rapidly increasing. Due to low opportunities in smaller and medium cities, the poor people generally bypass these small cities and directly come to the mega cities for their livelihood. Now, what are the problems of slum? Both urban and rural settlements are different in their functions, sometimes complementing each other. Apart from this, rural and urban areas have also emerged into two separate cultural, social, political, economic, and technological divide. India, which has a predominance of a rural population, approximately 69% of the total population in 2011, and where villages were considered the ideal republics by Mahatma Gandhi, most of the rural areas are still poor performing primary activities. Here, most of the villages exist as appendix to the core urban centers forming its hinterland. This may give an impression that urban centers exist as undifferentiated homogeneous entities in opposition to the rural areas. On the contrary, urban centers in India are more differentiated in terms of social, economic, political, and other indicators of development than any other areas. At the top, there are farmhouses and high-income groups, localities characterized by well-developed urban infrastructures like wide roads, street lights, water and sanitation facilities, lawns, well-developed green belts, parks, playgrounds, and provisions for individual security and right to privacy. At the other extreme of its ita, the slums, Juggi Jopari clusters, and colonies of shanty structures. These are inhabited by those people who were forced to migrate from rural areas to these urban centers in search of livelihood but could not afford proper housing due to high rent and high cost of land. They occupy environmentally incompatible and degraded areas. Slums are residential areas of the least choice, dilapidated houses, poor hygienic conditions, poor ventilation, lack of basic amenities like drinking water, light and toilet facilities, etc. Open defecation, unregulated drainage system, and overcrowded narrow street patterns are serious health and socio-environmental hazards. Moreover, most of the slum population works in low paid, high risk prone, unorganized sectors of the urban economy. Consequently, they are the undernourished, prone to different types of diseases and illness, and can not afford to give proper education to their children. The poverty makes them vulnerable to drug abuse, alcoholism, crime, vandalism, escapism, apathy, and ultimately social exclusion. Okay, so these are the problems faced by the slum people. Now, land degradation. The pressure on agricultural land increases not only due to the limited availability but also by deterioration of quality of agricultural land. Soil erosion, waterlogging, salinization, and alkalinization of land lead to land degradation. So, the soil erosion, waterlogging, salinization, and alkalinization, these lead to the land degradation. Land degradation is generally understood either as a temporary or a permanent decline in productive capacity of the land. So it means either as a temporary or permanent decline in the productive capacity of the land. Though all degraded land may not be wasteland, but unchecked process of degradation may lead to the conversion to wasteland. Okay, unchecked process of degradation that may lead to the conversion to wasteland. There are two processes that induce land degradation. These are natural and created by human beings. National Remote Sensing Center (NRSC) has classified wastelands By using remote sensing techniques, and it's possible to categorize these wastelands according to the process that have created them. There are a few types of wastelands such as gullied, ravinous land, desertic or coastal sands, barren rocky areas, steep sloping land, and glacial areas, which are primarily caused by natural agents. There are other types of degraded lands such as waterlogged and marshy areas, land affected by salinity and alkalinity, and land with or without scrub, which have largely been caused by natural as well as human factors. There are some other types of wasteland such as degraded shifting cultivation area, degraded land under plantation crops, degraded forest, degraded pastures, and mining and industrial wastelands are caused by human action. Okay. So that's about the chapter. If you have any doubts, you can comment below. For more videos, do like, share, subscribe.